Well, so just coming back to test Ripout, 3D Realms published game, really pretty cool. Um, Made by Pet Project Games. Um, it's had lots of updates since I last tried it, and the last time I tried it, I was kind of using my noob way of attaching things, so I had no idea what I was doing. As you can see, they've added a Christmas tree to your ship. I think they've added a bunch of new weapons and just general features. Um, and I believe, let me just check, it might be on sale. It is currently, yes, on a 20% sale, reduction sale. So in the UK, it's £16.79, which is pretty good, I'd say, and early access, and they've been working a lot. I see the settings, there's loads of features like frame generation, DLSS, ray tracing. I've got that turned off with pretty much everything on Epic, with DLSS balanced, and performance is really good. Yeah, so freed off motion controls work completely fine, and you could use that if you wanted. But in this, I'm doing the sixed off. Now, I'm just going to show the entire thing. I won't speed it up too much. But you'll see that I'm kind of looking through the properties of anything that looks about right. So I was checking blaster there. I was like, oh, is that doing anything? And you can turn something invisible or not invisible to see what you're doing. But obviously, current weapon, that's obviously it. There's only one skeletal mesh. So now I attach that. You do have to adjust it, of course. And then this is like the over adjusting tool. Now, the problem with this adjustment tool is you can line up perfectly, but it doesn't necessarily line up with the projectiles. So, and for some reason, the pistol is like at a 90-degree angle when you switch to it. So you can see here the cursor is slightly off center. We want that to be exactly behind. So I kind of want to show what my trial and error. So I've moved it too much to the left. So now I need to move it to the right a little bit. You can see me there. And see if that's okay. So I moved it too far to the right, so I need to move it left a little bit, and that's way too much. Now we're watching this, but this is a kind of trial and error. So now it's way too left, and you've seen me do this in the Robocop video as well. So now that's way too high. I think I was just. So you still have to do it where the weapon is, and it is more difficult when there's animations. But so you see that that's pretty good. It's slightly to the right, off center. It would be cool if we had some fine grain adjustment for this with like values change like the precise rotation of it. But even with just this, like what you're doing with your hand, it's good enough. So next thing, I'm just going to try and find the arms. Now I think I will speed this up. So what I do now is I just kind of look through all the meshes trying to find the hands, because a bunch of things that seemed like character meshes to make invisible weren't working. I think those were related to the third person view when you check out your gear. But there was actually a property called mesh one player, which you'll see me find in a second here, mesh one player, and making that invisible in my arms. So I saved that, and we're all good to play. There is some slight head movement, like with Sprawl, Terminator Resistance, some other games I've mentioned, Necromunda, Hired Gun have this, but it's not actually too bad in this. Some other games, like Necromunda especially, is like extreme, and Sprawl is like light, but this is also kind of light, kind of parenting to the headset. But I got my adjustment all good, so now we can go through the level, which is cool. Now I do go back to my current weapon just to be like, oh, should I adjust it slightly? I'm like, oh, I'm just going to slightly move it right. But I find like once you've got it 90% there, just keep it. Or just, hope someone saves the profile where it's like exact. But you can do it yourself. Like, it's not that hard. So especially if there's a game no one really cares about too much, or there's no profiles for it, it's good to actually know how to do this. So yeah, you can see the third person. That's, I think, where the mesh is. It's an interesting one, because your weapon's like constantly parented. You've like got it in your hand as well. But yeah, this game looks really good. Kind of like Doom 3 mixed with like a roguelite, procedural generation for the levels. I saw some early reviews saying kind of like, oh, it gets a bit samey and there's not so many features, but they're working on it, and it's kind of fun just to be in early access, right? And see development grow. When I first tried this, I had no idea what I was doing, but yeah, just fly over radar icons and do all the tasks. Also, the interesting thing as well, which it kind of feels like so this scene in a second. All right, I have to kill this guy. So yeah, my down the sights aiming is a bit off, but actually my from the hip aiming is like perfect. You can see here, like actually just pointing my hand at the upgrades, like that feels like a native VR game, like a native VR game interaction. To pick like my my upgrades. It's also a really beautiful game. It's all quite stylized, but it's really neat. Yeah, this is also co-op as well. I've not tried it co-op. Like when we were playing Aliens Fireteam, we found actually when you're the host, you had to change like the number of your player. So if in future when you see the multiplayer support button in the input, that's what that is. So I don't know whether that's needed here, but I need to grab someone from the group and see if they want to play this co-op. Yeah, picking things up is in this is really quite nice, and generally, yeah, like all interactions feel really satisfying. Even the aim down sights kind of works as well. So you get kind of, it slightly zooms in a bit on the model. Yeah, it's just a case of like, do you want to do the adjustment for the aim down sights, or do you want to do it for the hip fire? It seems like hip fire is pretty good. So I'm generally just hip firing this. And because it's got a cursor, I feel like I don't really need to like look down. So it might be fun to disable the cursor just to kind of add to the immersion. But yeah, it would be quite neat to do like a specific mod for this, like fix the projectiles, fix their head parenting, do like a two-handed for all the different weapons for different spots, like the assault rifle, SMG, fix all the little niggles and things. Do a change the controls a bit. So you can see there the pistols at like a weird angle. Oh my god, like these big guys, you really need to use the pet power to like stun them, so you can actually take them out. And there's like weak points as well, which is really neat. Yeah, this is, yeah, I mean on the sale, I think the Steam page, as it says, it's going to increase in price. Oh yeah, small price increase after early access. So this 20% discount now is actually going to be bigger when the game launches. But yeah, coming out in October, the amount of updates it gets, I mean, it's pretty much getting, I mean, the community engagement has been really good. I mean, generally every few weeks there's something happening on their page. But yeah, definitely check them out. And I'll save my profile. I'll probably make a Google Drive or something with my profiles for everyone. I mean, it's like I've saved this one, like for example now. But I mean, even Predog's got some. I mean, I was testing Song of Horror, and that's a fixed camera angle game, and he had some ideas for fixing that and some similar games as well. And we've had some issues with like some other bugs and stuff, so it might be I have to make the profile again, so I'm not getting too comfortable with my profiles. And again, as you can see, you can make them relatively easy. I mean, it took me, I don't know, 1 minute of trial and error of adjusting, just left, right, up, down, like, oh, it's a bit left, I move it a bit right, oh, it's a bit right, move it a bit left, and eventually you can get a good adjustment. But yeah, definitely I prefer playing like this compared to a controller or anything, and even just the 3DOF. If you don't want to mess around with the 6DOF, it's really fun. If you want to keep like the hand animations as he's like petting the gun and everything. Yeah, the audio in this game is really great. Like you can just hear like the pitter patter of these dog things, or like the big ones. Yeah, Ripout, really cool. I'm actually really looking forward to another 3D Realms published game, Phantom Fury, coming out soon as well. I kind of hope Team Beef end up making a bunch of UEVR plugins, because there's a bunch of boomer shooter type stuff that's right. No Bumser is working on the PC VR. I've touched this or not. I mean, they're quite busy with so many cool projects as well. seeing the potential as well. So like even just without the box, you can get to this. So seeing the potential of like what you could do if you took the time to make like a custom mod for this is really neat. Yeah, thanks guys for watching, and yeah, goodbye.